All right, everybody. I ain't never done one of these videos like this before. We're gonna try it, but let me show you what we got going on today. We're going with this video today. Don't make the same mistake I made. I'm here at my house back in I don't know, 6-7 months ago. I had to have some pumps. Matter of fact, that hole around there on that last video, one of them last videos I had to put a pump down in that sump pump hole. Got one under the house that don't work. I'm kind of revamping that, kind of piecemealing it together. But what I did, I had a hole right here, just right here, that I was going to pump water about 400 feet to the woods. And then down on the other end of the house, had the same thing out of that sump pump, was going to pump the water down there. So I went to Lowe's. I needed 2 pumps. Went to Lowe's, looked at these pumps, did the comparison for this pump to this pump right here, which is the one I got right now. And let's see, that's in Spanish. Better turn that baby around where we can read it. But yeah, I think this one right here is $179, $170, something like that. So I said, well, you know, it's going to be at my house. It's close to what this one is as far as the horsepower or the amps on it. I believe this one, this is a 3rd horsepower. I think this is a 3rd horsepower as well. Let's see right here. Yep, 1/3 horsepower. Pumps, I think this one pumps 46 gallons a minute. This one right here is 48 gallons a minute. Not exactly sure on that. But I said, you know, it's going to be at my house. I said, I got to buy 2. I'll save a few bucks. And I said, I'll be all right. I've never used this pump here on the customers. It's plastic top. It's got a metal base. And but what I did not realize, that this switch right here, all of this right here is plastic. I'll bring you in a little bit closer. But it's a little different setup. The off and on switch is up here. That thing floats up. So I put that thing in this hole down here, catching a lot of water from up the hill. Instead of running 400 feet of pipe down through there, it was going to be somewhere around $1,000 in pipe. I have 1.5 2-inch pipe. I said I'll put it in a pump, run it down there, save a little bit of money, everything be good. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. I think the first day I come in, we got a big hard rain. It was flooded. The hole just overrun with water. But where I'm going with this thing, sometimes it works, sometimes it wouldn't. The sump pump, I put another one down there. It's catching the water that's coming around my house. It's going into that big box down there. I put it in. Same thing. Come home, it wouldn't work. The switch was stuck right here. This was not working. Sometimes it would be halfway. You can see the debris that's got on this pump right here. It seems like any little thing would restrict this thing from turning on and off. Sometimes, I mean, it just really disgusted. I spent the money thinking, okay, it's at my house, I'm gonna be able to monitor it. I was wrong. This pump right here, it's a Zoller pump. Maybe that's the way you say it, professional contractor series. This right here is cast iron, 1/3 horse, 48 gallons per minute. It's not the big one, but it'll move a lot of water. These are the ones that we put in our sump pumps on the job. I would never put this for a customer. I've never tried this for a customer. I'll never will now. But what I'm getting at on this whole thing is, don't make the mistake I made. Go ahead. I think this thing was 240 bucks. For the aggravation that I've had with these 2 pumps, and I wound up taking this pump right here out and going ahead and spending $1,000 and running my 4-inch pipe down through there, gravity fed. I'm about 4.5, 5 foot deep down at the other end down there to get fall. That's what I was trying to get away from. But I went ahead, bit the bullet, did that, got that gravity fed. Don't have to worry about a pump up here. But on the one down on the other end, where you've seen me that last video or 2 I did with that hole I dug, I've got to replace that one down there with this pump here. And I'm gonna show you the difference. I'm gonna show you the difference in these 2 pumps. And I'm not a professional pump man. I'm not a plumber. I just know what's worked for us in the past, and I knew better. I knew better than to change, but you know, sometimes you think, well, I saved some money. It's at my house, and you know, I'll just do it. You can see the difference in the size of the pump, just the housing. All of this is cast iron. It's got the same, I believe it's 1.5 inch outlet. When I come up on these on the customer's jobs, I usually come up out of 1.5 inch. I go to 2-inch pipe. But the difference in this right here is this big bulb right here. This big, when that thing comes up, it switches that switch on and off, and you can see the difference in the size of these balls right here, these floats. And we've been using these for several years. I've never had to go back, not once. I've never had to warranty one of these pumps. Like, we don't do this stuff every day, but the ones we put in, we've had some in for 5 or 6 years. Never had no trouble. And maybe the warranties run out on the customer and they never called me back. Maybe they swapped them out. But even the year warranty that we say we'll come back and fix them, I've never had to go back, not one time. But that's the difference in them. That thing right there, when it floats up, that thing cups on. This right here is a metal switch. It's pretty rugged. This one right here, everything up in here is plastic. And that little old ball, it gets hung. But that's kind of like there. I'm gonna put this thing in the next week or so. Get it down there, swap that other one out, get this thing where to run all the time when I button that whole project up. But I just thought I'd throw that in there. Don't make the same mistake I made. This is the extra stuff you need to buy with this thing to make it work. And all you guys that deal with this stuff, you know that. You've got to have a check valve. You've got to have a check valve that'll go down somewhere between your outlet and the pump. You need a check valve. So that's what that is right there. This is a, let's see, 1.5 inch threads. It goes in the 1.5 inch here. But what the check valve does, it lets water go through, but it won't let it come back out. So if you've got this pipe coming out and going out your outlet pipe, and you've got fall coming back into this thing, that water's gonna come back in, and that pipe's gonna have air in it. And sometimes your pump's not going to be able to. You want that pump to be primed all the time, so that check valve won't let that water come back. So that pipe, when it's pushing out, you're pushing out water just as soon as it cranks up. That's what that is. Then you'll get a instead of a union. What I did, I've got some. Let's see here. I believe this is 1.5 inch as well. This will go on my pipe, and then I'll come out with a 2-inch pipe right there. That'll be my elbow. This is going to serve as a union. Same thing. I can tighten it out and take it in and out, and then I'll switch over to a plug right there. That's kind of what that is. Kind of a simple setup, but don't make the same mistake I made. Me trying to save money. It ain't worth the aggravation. These things might be good for something. Now, I'm not sure. I'm going to keep them. We can use them on the job, pumping out holes and stuff like that. They're a good trash pump. They got good openings down here. You get a lot of debris in there. It'll pump it. Don't no trouble with that. It's just the cutting them on and off. They just not reliable. So I thought I'd just do that and talk to you about that a little bit. And like I said, the next little bit, I hope we'll get a film or a video putting this thing in, swapping that thing out, and getting this thing in operation. But I'm gonna sign off here. We'll see you guys on the next one.